the fifth Sunday of Easter. For the next Sundays of May, we will be hearing from John's Gospel. A word about John's Gospel, maybe. It's the last of the four Gospels to be compiled. And it's quite a bit after the Matthew, Mark, and Luke synoptics. It's a unique gospel. And remember, Gospels are not biographies. They're not, in a way, this happened, and this happened, and this happened. No, it's what did the community need to hear to be enough to believe in Jesus, and that Jesus was the Redeemer, the Savior. Okay, John's Gospel is much later, and the community has been formed, but it's fragile and small, and it's mainly composed of Jewish people who knew the Torah, the law, the Pentateuch, if you will, Exodus and Genesis, and followed the Deuteronomic law. And Jesus comes and says, I am the intensification of God's revelation so far. I am the final revelation. I will be all that you need to know. Know in the faith sense, not know in the sensible sense. And so this part, there's two parts in John's Gospel, the Gospel of the book of signs, the miracles, the feeding of the 5,000, changing of the water into wine, and healing of the man born blind and calling Lazarus out of the tomb. There were signs that you would be, you see now, step farther, believe. Now we go to the book of glory, which, as you know, begins with the washing of the feet and the missioning. The book of glory might be seen, and we started today with, it's like a graduation address. And it's, I was trying to explain to myself how to hear today's gospel. And it's like this, just follow me here. It's like being at a bingo game. I know, trust me. It's like a bingo game, and you hear you got a 5, a B5, and they call B5. You say, I got it. I got that one. Reading, listening, studying, praying with today's gospel and the gospels in the next Johannine presentation of Jesus, it's too much. We like a story. He washed the feet. That's the story. We got it. In what we're going to be hearing are excerpts, and there's many words that you can take. Read the gospel at Mass. You say, what was all that about? That was just words and words and ideas. It's a graduation talk. And it's a funny graduation talk because in today's gospel, in today's part of the graduation talk, and the graduation is the sending of the apostles, the graduates, Thomas and Philip, two of the graduates, they have questions for the graduation speaker, Jesus. And their questions are good. And they're the only two questions asked in these 5 chapters, well, Peter says, "Are you going to wash my feet?" That's in chapter 3. But in the rest of the book of, well, these graduation talk, at least, these are the 2 talks. And so the first part of this homily, or gospel today, is what we would hear a lot in as the gospel at funerals. I am going away and I am preparing a place for you, and do not let your hearts be troubled. Well, that's a very consoling thing. But the gospel goes on today, and he says, I am going away, but you know the way. And Thomas says, we don't know the way. Tell us about the way. And to have seen me is to have seen the way. Does that totally answer it? Well, then Philip says, show us the Father, and that will be enough. It'll be enough for you to think you know. But God is a mystery. I am a mystery. And Jesus is saying, and your life is a mystery. You will have questions. And in listening to today's gospel, you say, I understand that. That's a bingo piece. That's I-21. Oh. So you'll have little parts. You can't listen to this whole gospel today and say, oh, got it. No, it's not just one story. It's pieces. And you have to pray, I think, with the individual pieces, which is really difficult. So this little sharing this morning, this week with you, is not about a story, but it's about right at the end. I want you to pay attention to the end. This is, in a way, the clearest part. Jesus said, I have done the works, and you will do even greater ones. What is that? What are the works? And what are the great works that I am going to do and you are going to do? What he's saying is, the works I have done are the book of Revelation. Not the last book of the Bible, but it's a section of revelations that I have given you. I have given you the power to also reveal. I am in you. I am in the Father, and the Father is in you. You are preparing by this graduation talk to be people of revelation. But revelation's coming out of faith. In a way, the 2 books, this is my opinion. The book of signs is about the senses and about the head. Oh, I understand. You are the bread of life. You are the vine. You are the giver of gifts. The graduation talk, John's book of glory, is moving from the senses and the head to the heart, to the belief. If I explained it, I once taught high school imaginists teaching poetry to sophomore boys. Whoa, poetry? And they would say, why didn't the author come right out and say it? Yeah, it's a good question. But there's more to you than intellectual understanding. There's something about the heart and the spirit that a poet writes from and you are to hear with. In a way, it's these readings in John's Gospel are poetry moving from the head. Why didn't you come right out and say it? Show us everything. That's what Thomas and Philip want. Show us everything so we don't have to believe. Jesus says, no. Believing is from your heart, not your head. It's from your spirit. It's from within. It's not an instruction, it's an invitation. So you will do great things out of faith. you will reveal the goodness of God through you. But you will never be enough. You will never have enough. It will always be a statement of belief that you wish were clearer. Yes, the graduation of the apostles, our graduation sent by each Mass. Each Mass is a graduation ceremony then. We have heard enough bingo parts to say, yes, I want to be a person of belief who has received the power, the gift, the gentleness to be a revelation of a God who is seen through Jesus, and we are graduated, sent to be a revelation of that same God, of the Jesus who has taken up residence within us individually and within us as the Eucharistic Church, sent to be a revelation of the goodness of God, still doing good works.